To change your custom greeting, press 1. Please speak after the tone. Press pound when finished.
Hi, we're broadcasting again today, as usual, and I've got the Marvelous Miraculous home that was the Hat Crown Halo gathering place on the screen, and we're starting our broadcast, and we start with this, you know.
And then she said she couldn't do the maid for everybody. Did you tell her that? Yes, when she came back and started to sell again, he was very expensive. Her whole love was to have her children there. She didn't try to tell him just to get along, have enough to eat. She was careful, very careful. And there was a sister, Clara.
There we have that as an important beginning to our broadcast, and we've already shown some of our graphics, and we're going to go ahead and do our ceremony, but I am going to say a couple of things. You know, I've been working on getting you all some emails, and I again have some problems with the slow computer today, and also made some improvements that were necessary and much more empowering to some of what is already present on some of the websites. So I will be sending you those emails very soon, but I don't know that they will come today. They may come today. You may get some of them today, and I am intending, I'm hoping that we can have as an extension right at the interface of July and August for our really coming together, especially to turn back time and celebrating everyone's birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days as Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary and regaining our democracy and being on the better paradigm as Equinox Q's Co-Secretary General's Co-Secretary. So now, if any of you have any problems, you can call me 24/7. I'm at 301-933-0272. And of course, you can also call in. When you call in, we'll get right on the conference line, which is 641-715-3580, access code 773342. And these recordings are always when I've made the conference on a teleconference, and right now you have one with Anne-Marie and I on there at 641-715-3589, and again the same access code 773342. More importantly, it's on Google and YouTube, and you can look at this and imagine. You need to do more than imagine. You need to put yourself there in the broadcasts with us, so we can look at your faces and so forth. So you can talk and you can say what you would like to say, and know how precious you are. Now, you are very, very precious inherently, and Goddess God knows your value, but Goddess God knows that you don't know your value. It is you who are treating each other and me and your world very poorly. It is you who are putting yourselves down. Now, I think what's going on among the older women is there is a tendency for some older women who have low self-esteem, and especially mother wounds. And let me again remind you that if you want mother wounds, you just need to look at the family of Patricia and Oprah and their experiences, and especially a lot of people who were held in slavery or who went through Holocaust. There's a lot of mother wounding there. Patriarchy produces mother wounds, and they often become transmitted from generation to generation without people recognizing that that is what they are transmitting. So that's happened to you. You have mother wounds, all of you, or you would have been commenting on what I have sent you by now, and you would have been connecting with one another. The reason women don't trust each other and don't feel that each other is important enough to talk with is because they have the mother wound. And that's true of most of you. Now I've come to the realization. I know it's true of my sister Julianne Marie, and I know the story of Dr. Strauss harming her and harming our mother. And unfortunately, there were a lot of Dr. Strausses in the 1940s, and even now there's a fairly good number. And that's one of the reasons we want to get the cooperation of this famous family of media, because, and with Anna Marie's family and my Patricia's family and other families come on too, can come on with us, but our family being so important, our family community being so important, because healing, there was the beginning of some family reunioning on Oprah's program with her mother and other mother figures and daughter and mother figures and nieces and so forth in the family, and nieces and nephews in the family. And we need to expand that to include our family and other families throughout our culture who are much more wounded in this area than we are consciously allowing ourselves to realize. So I want you to know I regard you as all very, very precious, and myself too, but I've been slow and you've been even slower than me. You're very retarded at this point in terms of responding to each other and giving information, showing connection, and carrying the new millennial golden rule as a paradigm shift to save our very endangered planet. So you're much more precious than you know, but as you continue your pattern of not connecting with me, you're in danger, because God is beginning to draw the conclusion that you don't know your family's value and you don't know your own value, and you're in such a state of darkness and ignorance that you have no concept of that, and so you're harming women and younger people, females and males, of our family tree. So again, I want to emphasize you can call me 24/7. That's very important at 301-933-0272, because based on what we've all been doing a little bit wrong in timing, you worse than me, but I also, there is danger here. There is danger here. And I don't know that knowing that prevents it, but I owe it to you and to Mother, Father, Goddess, God to honor your importance and to say that you can call 24/7. Okay, so let's do our ceremony. We have very beautiful new bouquet of our steadfast heart light. We have with us, the light is on in all our hearts, and we have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both and each and every one, as soon as possible. The light is on in all our hearts. We have with us marvelous, miraculous, budding, blooming flowers in water. Hugs and love to all, both and each and every one, as soon as possible. And we'll say, Namaste, mitekuye oyasin, mitekuye koseviral, kongs ompax, koampax culture, tubesk, tzederek, tubesk, bahaval, chayim, shalom, salam, salam, shalom, mir pache, mir, merci, ciao, ubuntu, buenos dias, shlanzavag, sayonara, das vidanya, chap, chinque, and cheerio, and good day. And good day and cheerio. And we'll say all of these languages and more. If I've forgotten any, you add them. And we'll say, let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both and each and every one, as Equinox GQ's Co-Secretary General's Co-Savior. And we'll say again, let's love and live eternally young, longest, and prosper all, both and each and every one, as Equinox GQ's Co-Secretary General's Co-Savior, past, present, future. And now we'll say this very important aspect. Now, we were looking up about Oprah Winfrey. There were a number of attempts of people to go on Oprah Winfrey and talk about anti-breastfeeding and natural breastfeeding, and they have not succeeded. Oprah Winfrey's mother wound is preventing her or her staff, the wounds that they may have, from understanding the importance of that issue. I was able to find 2 very explicit petitions and attempts to get onto her program on this. So our family, which has many famous women on this, when we connect with Oprah's family and with Anna Marie and Ma Patricia, and you've heard Anna Marie say that she did IQ breastfeeding for her children, we have a lot to say that is very important for our culture and very important to the healing of our own families. And you who have had mother wounds and not adequate breastfeeding, or deal with people who have had not adequate breastfeeding in your work or your education, have a great deal to say about this. So, we really want to see you understand the importance of this. And so we'll drink the milk of human kindness for all, both and each and every one, and representing all, both and each and every one as soon as possible. and especially focusing on the IQ breastfeeding of every holy baby girl and holy baby boy, of my and your and all our family community. It's all one family community. And now you know that this this has impacted people that I love, and this has impacted people that you love. And we have to understand that it transmits itself emotionally too. Yet it can be healed. What we do know now is that most emotional woundedness, even that of early childhood, can be healed therapeutically. We have many, many modalities, including even surrogate breastfeeding. And as we open up the stargates, our mothers and grandmothers will come back in their youth. They will come back in their 20s and their 30s. They will be able to literally share the milk of the Milky Way. This is a quantum leap. I'm not making this up. I understand something about Stargate theory, okay? And it does have to do with the spiritual as well as the material aspects of the universe. So let's drink our milk on behalf of all, both and each and every one, and also to the loving kindness throughout our lives, as past, present, and future, as Equinox QQ's Co-Secretary General, Szisztsztem. I drink on behalf of all, both and each and every one, representing all, both and each and every one, now and as soon as possible. As Equinox QQ's Co-Secretary General, Szisztsztem. Now you know that some of our family have birthdays around the date of Purim, some have birthdays around the date of Passover, and other days of important holy dates on different traditions, the Eleusinian mysteries, the Vedic India ceremonies, holy and other holy days. We are celebrating them. We have our fruit juice and our sacred, fruit juice and our sacred wine. Why do we say the fruit juice is just as sacred as the wine? Because fermenting juice makes it palatable, especially for older people. We don't normally give young children wine, but we do give them fruit juices, a lot of it, and it's very important to their growth. That's just as holy. That is just as holy. And it's our mindset that allows us to ignore certain aspects of our reality. So we celebrate them both as holy. We pair Purim and Passover, SsztarrszRiszesz, and we bring forth the combination of the 50-50 promise with the promised land's problems, with the promise of being risen beyond death, without death, because we're going back to Atlantis and going back to the Eleusinian mysteries, where they gave apotheosis without you having to be crucified. You didn't have to be crucified to get apotheosis in the ancient times. That is that notion of the needing crucifixion comes out of patriarchy itself. It is not needed. So we bring forth all of these and we drink them, but none is more holy than the milk. The milk is the most important apotheosis, ambrosia for all people, and the mother's milk of the Milky Way and the milk of human kindness. So we'll drink on behalf of all, both, and each and every one, and representing all, both, and each and every one as soon as possible, as Equinox QQ's Co-Secretary General, Szisztsztem. I drink on behalf of all, both, and each and every one, and representing all, both, and each and every one now and as soon as possible, as Equinox QQ's Solar Equinox QQ's Co-Secretary General, Szisztsztem. And we'll drink the water of loving, living planets that will regain and sustain our planet Earth and all our Earths to be, past, present, future, as Equinox QQ's Co-Secretary General, Szisztsztem. And you can see this, the solar stars, the suns, that it's the same thing. It's a star. And we're all star stuff too. And we're made of star stuff. So let's drink to ourselves as we drink to our celestial environments that we are all part of. I drink on behalf of all, both, and each and every one, and representing all, both, and each and every one, as Equinox QQ's Solar Co-Secretary General, Szisztsztem, past, present, future. And we'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days. Past, present, future is Equinox QQ's Co-Secretary General, Szisztsztem. We are going to turn back time. Now, I'm a little worried. I've been late on getting these emails to you, and I know that they will motivate you and motivate other people to combine with you, and that will help you move forward out of your doldrums of stuckness in the patriarchal paralysis. But they are not likely to come maybe today, They may come today yet, but they're more likely to spread out over today and the next day, because they require a lot of work and preparation. I do have, I'm sorry to say, some continuing problems with my computer. So they are slightly delayed, but you know you can call me 24/7, as I said at the beginning of broadcast. So let's celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, starting with our equinox and our both spring and both vernal and autumnal equinoxes, spring and autumn, and also sandwiching in between the solar birthdays that we're doing right now, and overlapping these months with all of this, making an arc of it, and then we'll get to our later solar birthdays too, the Christmas time, traditionally, and all of that. That includes mine and all of yours. And so I plan not only to give you double time on your birthdays and holy days, conception days, and name days, as soon as we get you coming to these broadcasts, but also on my birthday. I plan to give it to you double, because you've been missing so much. So let's do that, and we'll say this again. We'll celebrate and re-celebrate all our birthdays, conception days, name days, and holy days, past, present, futures, equinox, treaties, co-secretary generals, co-sefiras. Solar, co-secretary generals, co-sefiras. Okay, and now we'll also show, as we have been showing, our Purim cookie, our Passover wafer. We are continuing to celebrate the holy days of spring. They are not over. We have not celebrated them properly. We have to keep them in our hearts. And we have a round cookie instead of a triangular Hamantaschen hat, because we want to emphasize not hierarchy and triangulation, but the circle, the flow of love all around, and that by gathering to do that, women, when they talk about parity, give each other parity. They anoint each other as co-secretary generals, co-sefiras. And had they done that during the time of the traditional book of Esther, which, by the way, wrongly leaves out the name of Esther's mother and her daughter. Her mother, Miriam, was likely the name. The daughter was Radisha. We know that for sure. I think she had another daughter, too, and I have to look that up. And she also had maybe a son. So I think she had a son, too. So we left there's quite a bit of celebrations been left out about that, and we have young people in our family with the name of Esther and Hadass and Hadassah and Marians. We have many Marians and Maries and Mary related names. So we have a lot of that in our family, and we have the Passover wafer also to recognize Alicia and all of our young people, our women and our young men, as in the Da Vinci Code, that the Last Supper was not all men. The Last Supper was not all men, and what occurred in the Galilee was the beginning of a return to what was much more vibrant in Atlantis, egalitarian culture. So in the Da Vinci Code piety, we see Miriam of Magdala and Jesus of Nazareth featured, but we don't feature their kin, who also were many females and males. So all the other people on that diagram, that picture, even under the Da Vinci Code, are a bunch of old men, or men. So, and they're not the patriarchal men. They are not the Pharisees. They were the Essenes. Okay, we're not talking about Chase Manhattan Bank there at a board meeting. That was a bunch of so-called poor people, but enormously rich spiritually. And so we have this, but we want to say that as long as you remain under patriarchy, you do not become risen. You're flat. It's a flat matzah. And so how do we fulfill all of the holy days? We become our round versions of the cookies and the matzah, much bigger. We have our big round fluffy bread and our big round fluffy oval bread, a round bread for women, and a round bread for our females, and the oval bread for our males, and we are risen. Okay, we have the new millennial golden rule and coming to share in circles and making circles and daisy chains and circles. And we also have the grains of other cultures. We have our rice and we have our wheat. Our oats, and we will be gathering people from those cultures also with Oprah. Okay, we're going to gather all the cultures together. A big family reunion of Eleusinian mysteries is what we're going to be doing on an Oprah-related broadcast. And we'll invite Oprah. Let's hope she comes. If we can't get Oprah, we guarantee you we get a lot of Oprah's relations. So it'll be quite a nice thing to do. And of course, Anna Marie and my Patricia's too. Okay, and all of ours, all of our family community. Who you know. So so we did that, and now we have to do our consciousness currencies. Again, these are our Adelian and Venerian, Adelian, Morellian, Margalian, Silver Golden Kindian, Zalkindian, Feldmarian, Goldbergian, Prolominian, Cavallarian, Millarian, Newcomerian, Herstian, Herzogian, Sagan, Sweeten, Sagan, Sweet, and Sagan, and of course Emma Patricia and the Jans are Slathian, but we also want to say the Native American names, which include all natural names like singing crickets and sunflowers, and as the given name, and also the names of the Lee Winfrey families and the other branches on them. And then we're also going to include our Brannock, Skakel, Fitzgerald Kennys. Lots of people are coming in, but you are the most important. You are the most important. So we include you here in our upper level of all the great and grandmothers. And then in the middle, we have our current generations of women who are, you might call middle age. That is adult women who are in the kind of central time of life. And then we also have our younger people, females and males, our young Shekinas and young Hikinas, our young sister Gazinas and young cousin brothers, around age 37 and younger. You know who you are. You see your names on the emails every day, and you've not been interacting with each other because your mothers aren't. And we know scientifically that when mothers practice patriarchy, that's what they pass on to their children. And so when mothers don't show regard for other women, they pass on that attitude to their children. Or if it isn't regard, it's just kind of invisibilization. So these are things that you have to overcome. And we have these consciousness currencies. They go very, very quickly in my neighborhood. People like them. I've passed out hundreds and hundreds of them in my local neighborhood. You can do that too. Put your pictures on them and pass them out. And we'll give you kisses. Okay, and now we have our multi-family branching bigger tree with your bigger pictures. I don't have as many as your pictures. That's all I want them, but you know who's included here. We especially thank us Harry Harriet and Ray and Harry Harriet, and for gathering us in this virtuous place. We're also kind of using that theme for these other families that have different types of enterprises and establishments going on. But ours is the first gathering place, and we really give great thanks for that. And we, of course, honor as Harry Harriet and Ray and as Harry Harriet, and Grandpapa and Grandma Margulies, Ray and Clara, Precious Antoinette, and Rose, Grandma Marie, Grandma Popper, Annette, and Dorothy, and Lynn, and Rachel, and many, many more. We honor, of course, Rose, and Myrtle, Pearl, and Marie of Anna Marie and Ma Patricia's clans. We also honor Vernita and Hattie Mae. We're also including, there are some women of color who played a big role in our families and communities' lives, like Gaugie and Lillian Gay, and many, many more. We have lots of other grandmothers whose names we could be remembering here, but that just gives you a sampling, and we can branch out from there. Then we also have our current women. Very important. Oh, and I neglected to mention Malka and Shirley, and we also have other women, many, many, many more. Okay, and now here we have our middle level of women, current adult women, and they can range to the older years, including Jacqueline and Georgine, who are very problematic right now. Their whole generation is very, very problematic in North America. They've been left out of the loop, and we need to re-include them so they function better. And we also include especially important Victoria and Marion and Julia Marie, Marion and Julia Marie and Victoria and I as a circle, very important, with Barbara also in the circle, and Jennifer, Susan, and including all the famous ones. We're including Alexandra, Rachel, and Juliana, and Francesca Margulies, and Susan Silverman with Sarah Silverkind, with Sarah, with Silver Goldenkind, Sarah, and Judith and Laura. And we're also including, of course, Batya and Helene and Sherry. I don't often mention them enough. And Sally, and there's a lot more on that branch. We also include Marcia. Marcia has the name Mara right in her name. Marcia, Denise, and many more on that branch. And we also include Carrie, again on the same. We include, let me say, Nisa and Lynn and Linda, and many more on those related branches of family and community. Esther, Judy, and current neighbors like Georgina with Naomi, with Judy and May and Louise, and many more that are near me and near you and near all of us. And we also include, of course, Meredith and Andrea, and many more there. And we also including Carrie and Mary and Carrie, and very much including also Donna and Diana. And I'm sure I've left some out. And also, of course, Anne Marie and her families, and Ma Patricia. We include both of them with Martha, Sophie, Laura, and Pauline, and also on the middle generations of Oprah Winfrey's family, Patricia and Oprah, and also beginning to include Alisha and Krishanandra, and many more. And then we have our younger generations, very important. You have no idea how important you are, and you're being terribly stressed by what your mothers have been doing on this list. I'm very upset that you are so stressed, and I'm very upset about all of the situation. So, you know, you younger people can call me. If you're feeling sad or upset, or any of you or have associates or friends who are sad or upset, you have them call me. I know that they're important to you, and you're important to all of us, and we're all very important. We are equally important. So we include, of course, Hadass and Vanessa and Rachel Ray and Daniel Juliet and Stacy Anastasia and Soma, and we are including also Halal and Ashira and Rebecca and Sandra and Hesperus and Athena, and we're also including April and Rosa and Rosa and Angeline and Edith, and we're including Aquarius, and we're including Donna, no, not Donna, here, I said that earlier, Abby and Sarah, Sandra and Rebecca and Abby and Sarah, and many more. And we're including, equally important, as our young men. Our men include Yishai and Harlan Lusaviz, and who I like to call Vanessa Salian and Harlan Lusaviz Wesley, and because those are their Star Trekian names, and you can, all of you young people, claim such names and build on some. And we also include Abby and Sarah, and no, I said that already. And the young men, Yishai, Harlan Lusaviz and Yishai, and Ross and Jared, Marcel, Eric, Itani, and many more. And also include the older men of our family. They're waiting behind the Stargates too. They'll come back, just as in the movie Contact, as younger men. Okay, younger. Then they left. Then you saw them when they left. Why? Because when you become risen, you become risen in your youth, in your adult young age. And so we include Julia, that was the name of the younger brothers, as well as Joseph, Carl, and more. And let me tell you, your family tree loves you and longs for you. They're in the Akashic record, and they want to have these reunions for all people, not just for them. And it's particularly important for people who have been Holocausted. And that includes our family, and includes obviously Native Americans and people of color, black colored people in our culture, African Americans. But it includes just about everyone, because patriarchy, ever since it took hold after the fall of Atlantis, upset the lives of billions of every type of heritage, and there were many lost. So we're going to regain lots of people in our universe. Their souls are waiting. And so let's do our kisses. And what you have to know is you have the solar power. Do you know how powerful on your star is? Do you understand how that makes everything grow on this planet? You have all of these powers. You have them. And I'm giving them back to you via the new millennial golden rule. You just have to put aside the weird notions that you have that have prevented you from having divine democracy. And the nationalism is the worst notion, and also the lack of attention to family balance is a terrible notion. And we've got a lot of other things that are going way wrong in North America, so you're going to correct that. You have the powers to do that. And love powers to do it. And so we've done all that, and now we do our clear bowl with the fruit. We have the importance to say parity, not patriarchy. We're going to take paradisal parity as our way, past, present, and future, via the new millennial golden rule, as equinox QQs, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, and we are not going to continue patriarchal planeticide. We're not going to participate in patriarchal planeticide anymore. We're going to participate with each other as connections, making co-broadcasts. You are going to do that, and we'll do that. And so now we'll just say very quickly, we'll say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings, all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, past, present, futures, equinox, QQs, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. And we'll say again, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, all the blessings and all the greetings of all the heritages of our earth and our earth, past, present, futures, equinox, QQs, solar, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries. Okay, and that's going to be what you're going to hear if you call into the phone tree. I'm just doing what I did yesterday. Now I have to say, I'm getting messages, synchronicities that tell me I'm running too slow and you're running too terribly slow. You need to take the risk of being in contact with me or one another or some kind of connection, because the failure for you to make connections with each other and with me, and with the whole concept of parity, not patriarchy, is endangering you. If you run into any danger, you can call me 24/7. You can also quickly say, parity, not patriarchy, past, present, future. That will be a protective little mantra, or whatever you want to call it, an invocation that will bring spirit to your aid if you're in any difficult situations, okay? You call me 24/7, and we'll be getting you those emails real soon. And I know that before the beginning of August, you'll have everything that I think you could possibly learn from, to enable you quickly to be equinox QQs, co-secretary generals, co-secretaries, very effectively and very happily, and enjoy a culture of sustainability and peace, loving, living peace on this and all our planets with all of your relations, even the ones who don't like me and who don't like you and don't like somebody. You know, all of the people will find the way to get parity and eternal paradisal parity on this and all our planets, past, present, future. You have a fountain of youth and open the stargates. Okay, and I neglect to mention in the broadcast, I should also mention the family of Sylvia Light. They're involved in longevity studies. And we remember Barbara, we remember Bonnie, and Sylvia, as well as Eugenia and others on that family tree. First, there are some other younger people on that family tree. We'll come and look at them too. So I love you. You can call me 24/7. And I'm going to go ahead and send this as a message on our phone tree. And then I'll continue broadcasting on the teleconference line.
To save this message, press 1. Your greeting has been saved. To change extension type, press 1. To record extension name, press 2. To manage